Hello Saviors and welcome, my name is Seivar24 and today I'm doing another reaction video. Now this one is going to be of Screw Attack, and it's going to be the death battle between Batman Beyond and Spider-Man 2099. Now here's the thing. I, at one point, actually looked through a lot of the list as soon as I found out about the death battles by Screw Attack to see as to what they had to offer. Batman and Spider-Man had actually already duked it out at one point in their more normal versions, the more common versions that we're all familiar with. But this time it's going to be Batman Beyond versus Spider-Man 2099, more futuristic versions of the characters that we already know of. Now, I have absolutely no idea as to how it goes, but in the original version, spoilers, Batman won and Spider-Man ended up on the underside of his boot. So I have no idea as to how the characteristics of these two differ from their original forms, but we can only assume as to how it's going to turn out. Can't wait to see as to how it all foils down. So Screw Attack, surprise us again. I know I'm a little late to this reaction video. I didn't do it when it initially came out, but I'm doing it now. And let's see what happens.
The future. Everyone wants to see it, and why not? It has robots, flying cars, and of course, superheroes.
As well as ads.
Yeah, the future still has those, but they're even cooler because of all the sweet gadgets.
Like Terry McGinnis, the Batman Beyond.
And Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man from 2099. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
So they're going with more pixel style, huh?
Terry McGinnis was your average futuristic high school student.
He went to future raves, complained about future problems, had a future girlfriend. Yeah, you know, the usual.
Until one fateful day when Terry got into a fight with a group of jokers.
What's he got against comedians?
No, a gang called the Jokers. You know, like the Joker.
Ah, but with a Z, because it's the future.
Well, naturally. After possibly the most dangerous motorcycle chase ever put on television.
Yeah, it's cool, he's got a helmet.
Terry found himself inside an isolated mansion owned by an elderly billionaire named
Bruce Wayne.
Here, he stumbled upon the most important revelation in his life.
Bruce Wayne is Batman! Oh, what a surprise! Well,
right?
more like he was Batman. He'd retired from crime fighting years ago, because, you know, age is a bitch.
Wait a minute, after decades of secrecy, a punk teenager just happens to stumble into the Batcave?
Right?
Crying out loud, if he'd found my secret lair, he'd have been vaporized on the spot.
Yeah. Anyway, Terry's roller coaster of a day still wasn't over. Turns out his dad got murdered.
Dad?
Bummer. So he did what any emotionally charged teen who wants to avenge their dad would do. He stole the Batsuit.
But not the old cape and cowl of yesteryear.
Nope.
This was the latest and most advanced Batsuit. Terry McGinnis didn't just become the all-new Batman. He was Batman Beyond.
You ever wonder what would happen if Batman got a hold of an Iron Man suit? It's basically that. And damn, he looks friggin' rad.
The Batsuit's nanotechnology
sure.
greatly enhances his strength and provides several thin yet strong layers of ballistic and environmental protection.
And he can fly. He can soar faster than a speeding future car, and he's really nimble in the air. Plus, he can always give his punches and kicks a literal rocket boost.
He sports over 24 other gadgets for combat and espionage.
Wow.
He has a wrist-mounted grappling hook that can extend over 50 feet. There's a cloaking device, a lock decoder, finger microphones, climbing claws, an underwater breather, thermal and binocular vision, extendable spikes on his arms, flashbang grenades, triple-weighted bolas, a buzzsaw, and even retractable tweezers.
Splinters are no laughing matter. And don't forget all those sweet batarangs. These new age ninja stars are even sharper and more compact than before, and they come in a variety of delightful flavors.
Really?
Like explosive, ensnaring, and electrifying. Terry's got a solid throwing arm and can even disarm multiple opponents with a single shot. But if he's feeling a bit lazy, he can always just use his arm launchers to fire batarang discs.
Also, when anyone gets in too close, the whole suit can act like a man-sized taser. The electric shock is strong enough to stun people spliced with animal DNA and short out heavy machinery.
But the tools don't make the man, Batman. Terry's a master martial artist with plenty of training from legends like former Robin Dick Grayson, totally real ninja Kairi Tanaga, and the former Dark Knight himself. But once he got over the kid stealing his suit, of course.
Bruce
Right.
Wayne doesn't just serve as Terry's mentor, he's also a constant source of advice and information on the go through his direct link to the Batsuit from the Batcave.
Just like Alfred
Good thing,
was to
too,
him.
Since Terry's not exactly the world's greatest detective, at least not compared to the old man.
Bruce
Yeah.
is extremely intelligent and an expert analyst. Plus, the Batcave has some very impressive technology. Not only does it host one of the most powerful supercomputers on the planet, it's also completely dependent on its own hydroelectric power supply and isolated network.
Wow.
Hell, I don't care who Bruce used to be. Having an old guy barking orders in your ear sounds annoying. Like your
It
dad's
does.
always looking over your shoulder.
Yeah, more than
Or
likely,
At
but-
least I imagine, cause
But considering how
have
long he's
one.
been in the
Well,
fight,
Terry
son,
is Bruce Wayne's secret son.
what?
In an effort to ensure there would always be a Batman, government boogeywoman Amanda Waller had secretly overwritten Warren McGinnis's reproductive DNA with that of Bruce Wayne's.
So like, he was just blasting Wayne babies? It's like all the fun, but you could get out of any child support case.
Oh,
and
jeez.
bonus, I guess Terry's father technically wasn't murdered. Good for him. Also, he's got all the benefits from Bruce's kick-ass genes.
Even before going through combat training, Terry was a skilled fighter.
Looks
strong
like
enough
it.
to send opponents flying with a single punch.
In the suit, he's strong enough to lift large I-beams and this giant boulder.
He's even survived getting his leg trapped under Bruce Wayne's trophy penny.
oh
What's so
jeez.
special about a penny?
Just look at it.
Holy colossal currency, Batman!
The penny's diameter
Right?
is easily 20 feet wide and is frequently dated from the 1940s. This means the penny is likely composed of bronze and weighs around 166 tons.
That's more than enough to crush all the bones in your foot. But not Terry. He was up and at 'em like nothing happened. I mean, this guy's tough enough to take a missile to the face and then fall hundreds of stories. And all he got out of it was a couple broken ribs. What's a penny as heavy as 33 monster trucks gonna do?
He's
Jeez.
quick enough to dodge gunfire, skilled enough to defeat lizard people and the Justice Lords. In a newer suit,
Justice
he can fire
Lords, huh?
concussive pulse blasts and even outraced an intercontinental missile, which can reach speeds of up to 15,000 miles per
That's
hour.
ridiculous,
That's over
huh?
19 times the speed of sound.
He's still no Bruce Wayne, though. He's kind of a punk and doesn't have the amazing smarts or expertise of Batman Classic.
Nope, not
We
really.
don't quite have his magnificent brain, for instance. We do have his heart, though.
Maybe not, but he has accomplished feats equal to his predecessor, like fighting Superman and ending the Joker threat once and for all. Clearly, Terry McGinnis has more than earned the title of Batman.
You're pretty strong for some clown who thinks he's Batman.
I am Batman.
Definitely not the detective, but a pretty keen Batman
So
nevertheless.
here's an unfortunate spoiler. The year 2099 kinda sucks.
Plagued by a massive civil war between humans and mutants, the world fell into a dystopian ruin of violence and anarchy. The heroic age had come to an end.
But some people still wanted a sequel.
Enter Miguel O'Hara, a child prodigy turned super genius with a penchant for genetic tinkering.
Miguel's skills landed him a job at one of the biggest companies in the world, Alchemax, where he got to work trying to rebuild one of the greatest heroes of all time,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Specifically, he attempted to replicate the DNA of Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man. But like most of the 21st century superheroes, not much remained of Parker outside of stories and legend. Miguel had to build his
man.
experiment from scratch, starting with a single, simple spider.
Unfortunately, Alchemax didn't have the greatest job security. After a lot of bad blood and some spilled blood, Miguel wound up accidentally getting a dose of his own creepy crawly project.
Transforming him into the Spider-Man of 2099.
But future Spider-Man isn't quite the same as your grandpappy's Spidey.
That's right, apart from the superhuman strength, speed, durability, and improved healing, Miguel's powers are entirely different. Unlike Parker, he can't actually stick to any surface. He can still wall crawl, though, using retractable talons on his fingers and toes, which also make for fairly deadly weapons in a fight.
And he's got fangs
Ouch.
like a vampire. If he bites you, he can inject a venom that can paralyze your whole body almost instantly. Also, he may not have Petey's trusty spider sense, but his sense of sight, smell, and hearing are superfied. He can hear noises from miles away, see in the dark, and make out far-off and fast-moving objects with ease.
In fact, his senses are so acute, he wears tinted glasses to keep daylight from hurting his eyes.
And like
must
any
suck.
Spider-Man, he can shoot webs from his hands.
Miguel doesn't need compact web shooter devices on his wrists. He actually has organic spinnerets in his arms, which create and release thick, durable strings of webbing.
Well,
Because
sometimes
they're natural,
so
these
did-
strings are chemically identical to spider silk, with a tensile strength similar to steel.
Wow.
Ew. Okay, the original Spider-Man always kind of grossed me out, but this guy's powers are disgusting.
Ugh.
I think Miguel would agree with you.
Well, yeah, one day he's just your average dweeb doing sciencey stuff like you, and the next he's got big lumps in his arms which shoot sticky stuff. Who wouldn't be weirded out?
Miguel
I mean,
saw
definitely
his
would be
newfound
weird, but I
power
don't think
as
it
a
would be-
curse, a blight which turned him into an inhuman freak of nature.
But that didn't stop him from fighting crime, complete with his own Spidey suit.
His original costume was made from unstable molecules, allowing the use of his talons without tearing the fabric. He also wears a web-like cape made of light bite, which lets him glide through the air.
Whoa, Light Bright! I remember that. Man, do they still have that in the future?
Wrong kind of
Did they
thing.
find a way to stop you losing those little pegs?
Light bite.
Yeah, whatever. The suit looks pretty cool, so I hate to spoil the mood, but it's actually just a run-of-the-mill costume from a Day of the Dead festival. Oh, really?
Though after meeting the present-day Peter Parker, Miguel received a much-needed upgrade. His new suit contained synthesized unstable molecule fabric mixed with Kevlar, greatly improving his defense.
This suit can survive a shot from a howitzer artillery cannon.
Okay.
A common M777 military howitzer fires 92-pound shells at 2,200 feet per second.
Jeez
That
Louise.
hits with over 100 tons of force.
Miguel's even taken a hit from the Thing, a hit which shattered a tempered glass window and sent Miguel flying over 2,000 feet.
And the new suit has explosives, hologram projectors, infrared scanning, and it's even got wings and rocket boosters on the feet. Wait,
Just
that
like
sounds
Spider-Man.
familiar.
Just like
Miguel may
Batman.
be
Yeah.
a genius, but he's at his best when he's working with his holographic assistant, Lila, or the Lie-Rate Lifeform Approximation.
She's basically like the future Alexa with a bunch of extra features. She keeps track of Miguel's life signs and surroundings. With Lila's scanners and his super senses, anyone would have a hard time trying to sneak up on future Spidey.
While
Sounds
Lila
like it.
was originally built as a home appliance, she can be stored on Miguel's portable communicator. She can act as an onboard lie detector and do advanced calculations to the 20th decimal in a millisecond, which is flippin' amazing.
Fun fact, Lila's appearance was based on Marilyn Monroe.
Of course
Not
it would
that
be
anybody
Marilyn
in
Monroe.
2099 seems to know who Marilyn Monroe was. Okay, seriously, how did they lose so much information in less than 100 years? Remember, kids, always back up your files. It'll prevent the apocalypse.
Well, lucky for them, Miguel got over his emo phase and started setting the future back on track. And he had the skills to do it.
He's quick enough to dodge gunfire, tough enough to take a shotgun blast to the chest, resilient enough to tank electric shocks, and strong enough to rip a 20-ton turret off a tank.
More than that, he helped
Jeez.
another Spider-Man keep this giant building piece in place.
Oh,
What
really?
even is that?
Likely some sort of antenna, but it also resembles the mooring mast atop the Empire State Building.
Back when everybody thought Zeppelins were the hot new thing. Because who doesn't like riding a giant flammable balloon full of explosive gas? Sign me up!
Assuming it's composed of steel and roughly estimating its size compared to the Spider-Man on the roof, then comparing the Empire State Building's mooring mast, this should weigh, at most, 200 tons.
Oh gosh.
Basically, Miguel's a badass, and he proved it in the most epic way possible. After rebuilding the world with Captain
As is
America,
with the joke.
Miguel inherited the most legendary weapon of them all.
As is with the
Mjolnir.
joke Spider-Man made of
Although Thor's
only
hammer
I can,
didn't actually
I can
grant him
only
its
wield.
warrior powers.
2
Miguel
tons.
didn't use it as
This
a
guy can build a
weapon,
whole
but as
building.
proof of his authority. A literal symbol of the societal weight he alone could carry. With his dominance asserted, Miguel created the utopian future a person could only dream of.
And you thought Peter Parker was cool. This
Wow, he was
Spider-Man
actually
is
able to
at the top.
build Mjolnir? That's amazing. So he's the pure of heart character who's had...
Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man of the year 2099.
That's me, ready to save the universe and looking good while doing it.
Apparently he's also somewhat full of
All
himself.
right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
Alright, here we go. Get on to the death battle. No sponsorships are gonna be on this video because I'm not part of them.
McGinnis, keep an eye out. I've been seeing some odd reports regarding this part of the city.
shock are you?
Who the shock are you? Well, here we go. Nice way of being able to loop around your opponent. He's really quick and nimble, that's for sure.
Right back at you, fatty. Hey, Lila, give me a reading on this vampire guy, yeah?
Of course, Miguel.
Vampire
I
guy.
can't identify his tech or fighting style, but I can try hacking his suit.
It's probably not likely to
He's too
happen.
comfortable in the air. Try a different approach. Get to ground level.
I can't move.
Yeah, sure. Apparently he's pretty good with his web slinging skills.
That hurt.
Something's trying to hack your suit. Our new friend, no doubt.
How's the hack going?
Nowhere fast.
Get in close.
Doesn't
and
exactly
finish this
sound like
quick.
the most
No
optimistic
problem. Can my fangs
robot.
pierce his suit?
I think so.
Then I'll finish this myself.
Oop! Flashbang!
Lila! And problem solved.
I
Well,
guess that's one way to do it.
well, that was rather quick.
I'll never get tired of seeing people blow up. It's always such a blast.
Thanks to Bruce's counsel, Terry used his flashbang to take advantage of Miguel's sensitive eyesight, and his electric shock that can short out large machinery to deal with Lila.
Yeah, unlike Bruce, the poor girl wasn't really built for combat. And while her hacking skills were top-notch, the isolated Batcave had the defenses to hold her off.
Even still, Terry's stats edged out Miguel's in more ways than one.
When it came to maneuverability and durability, they were mostly even. Both could dodge bullets and weave through the air. Both could survive heavy ballistic hits. But unlike Terry, Miguel's never outraced anything faster than a Mach 19 ballistic missile.
I figured
For
that
physical
speed was
strength,
going to be a
Terry had
huge
him
factor
beat
in
too.
this whole thing.
Recall that boulder that he lifted underwater. This took place in Superman's Fortress of Solitude near the Arctic, so the boulder was likely composed of sedimentary dark limestone,
Oh,
the most
jeez.
common rock type around that location. So we compared Terry's height to the boulder, applied the density for limestone, and subtracted the weight reduced by underwater buoyancy, to find the boulder's weight to be 192 tons.
And that's
And he tossed
underwater.
it aside like it was nothing. Terry's peak strength in the batsuit has to be more than 200 tons.
Assuming Miguel applied his fair share when holding up that antenna, his best strength feat we know of is at max 100 tons.
But he's a Spider-Man. Spider-Man can lift more than that, right?
Only a
Not
couple
usually.
tons.
Technically, Miguel's powers are so different from Peter's that we shouldn't really scale him to other Spider-Men. But for the benefit of the doubt, let's do it anyway.
We'll check out two of Spider-Man's most impressive strength feats. The first is the time he braced a private jet while it was landing. Look at him. He's literally the landing gear.
According to Spider-Man himself, the plane's total weight was at most 115,000 pounds. Adding the thrust from a Whittle W1 engine, which this small jet is most likely to have an engine comparable to, this feat comes out to 58 tons.
Not even close to Terry's 200. Then
No.
there was this one time where Spidey had to push way past his limits to lift what he offhandedly compared to as a locomotive. Since he could measure the plane, it's likely he's accurate here, but given the time period, that's still only 130 tons at most.
It's clear Terry had a pretty sizable physical advantage. And just because Terry's mind wasn't as fine-tuned as the original Batman's, didn't mean he's dumb.
Even more, Miguel never trained like Terry did. Hell, he never really had much formal training at all.
No,
but Terry
not
was
really.
trained by ninjas, stealth artists, and other crime fighters to be a master in the battlefield.
Right, he was
And
trained
since
by
Miguel
Robin
didn't
and
have a
Batman.
spider sense, Terry just had to wait until the untrained future Spidey left an opening.
In short, while Miguel wasn't completely outmatched, Terry's superior strength, counseling, equipment, and training won the bout.
Turns out this Batman was beyond him.
The winner is Batman Beyond.
So yeah, apparently the whole situation was a matter of as to it was a complete outlandish fight. Batman was able to beat the original Spider-Man because, well, even though Spider-Man was capable of dealing with much more strength and it was very agile and even had his Spidey sense warnings, Batman had a lot of technological and skill and detective work skills in order to give him some superior edges. But in the situation here, it's obvious that the match was completely outlandish, a landslide of epic proportions. Of course, nothing's quite as epic proportion as the fight in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was Hulk versus... I can't believe they even thought that was a good comparison. Hulk versus Resident Evil's... Gosh, why can't I think of the name right now? Chris Redfield. Chris Redfield versus the Hulk. Like, seriously, there's no way. He has no chance. Even with every weapon in his arsenal, there's no way he can take down the Hulk. But let's see who... Actually, you know what? I don't even need to see who the next comparison is. I've already seen them, and there's been some bad puns with them. But I gotta go see what they did for the introduction for them anyways. It's Sephiroth versus Dante's brother, Virgil. And I can't wait to see as to how that one actually comes out, because there wasn't a comparison between Dante and Cloud. But Sephiroth and Virgil, I can definitely see some comparisons being made. But for now, that's just going to have to be everything. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you Death Battle and Screw Attack for making such an awesome video. Thank you Screw Attack for making an awesome Death Battle video. Sephiroth and Virgil will take down on December 18th, and I'll be there to watch it on time this time. But until then, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Leave a comment in the section below, check out the Discord channel, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, saviors!